More than 120 people have died after the worst flooding in years in the Democratic Republic of Congo's capital, Kinshasa, authorities said. Main streets in the city center were submerged as heavy rains continued for hours and several houses collapsed. Many of those who died were on hillside areas that experienced landslides. The government has declared 3 days of national mourning. The death toll, which was initially thought to be at least 55, jumped to more than 120 late Tuesday. Entire neighborhoods were flooded with muddy water, and homes and roads were torn apart by sinkholes, including the N1 highway that links the capital to the country's main Matadi port. An AFP journalist saw the bodies of 9 members of a family who died when their house collapsed. "We've never seen flooding of this magnitude here," said Blanchard Mvubu, who lives in one of the worst affected areas. "I fell asleep and I could feel the water in the house. It was a disaster. We lost all our possessions in the house. There was nothing to save." Prime Minister Jean-Michel Sama-Lukonde led a government delegation through parts of Kinshasa to assess the damage on Tuesday. He said officials were still looking for more bodies. Earlier on Tuesday, the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo joined the United States in blaming climate change for massive flooding. The DRC is under pressure, but unfortunately not enough is being heard or supported, President Felix Tshisekedi told Secretary of State Antony Blinken as they met at the US-Africa Summit in Washington. "The floods were an example of what we have regretted for some time," he said, adding that countries responsible for pollution should do more to help those who are suffering.
Qui est au quartier CPA Mouchi que vous pouvez percevoir à 50 mètres, qui est au quartier CPA Mouchi dans la commune de Mongafola. Aujourd'hui, il s'est abattu une grande pluie et que vous voyez les eaux de pluie n'ont pas été contenues par la rivière Lukunga. C'est comme de la route qui quitte Pompage jusqu'à l'usine Régie des eaux. La route qui va Don Bosco, Kimboala, en passant par Pompage, elle est inondée par les eaux de pluie, comme vous pouvez
His spokesman said the president may cut his trip to the U.S. short because of the disaster. Kinshasa is located on the Congo River and has seen a large population influx in recent years, with 15 million people now living there. Many of the residences are shantytowns built on flood-prone slopes, and the town suffers from inadequate drainage and sewers. In November 2019, around 40 people in Kinshasa were killed by floods and landslides. Climate change, the president of the Democratic Republic.
Sous l'eau, même nous qui vous parlons ici, nous avons mesuré les eaux au niveau du salon, c'est à peu près 60 cm. Donc toutes les choses flottent au-dessus des eaux, même dans des maisons. Vous verrez même un véhicule d'un voisin, un véhicule qui était de passage, qui a été emporté par les eaux et a été renvoyé. N'eût été le caniveau qui avait été érigé à cet endroit. Ce véhicule
of Congo joined the United States on Tuesday blaming climate change for massive flooding that has claimed around 100 lives in the capital Kinshasa. The DRC is under pressure, but unfortunately not enough is being heard or supported, President Felix Tshisekedi told Secretary of State Antony Blinken as they met at a US-Africa summit in Washington. "The flooding is an example of what we have regretted for some time," he said. Support must come from countries that pollute and unfortunately trigger dangerous consequences in our countries that do not have the means to protect themselves, he said. Mr. Blinken offered condolences on the deaths, saying the flooding was further evidence of the challenges we face with the climate and something we need to work on together. Despite a series of international conferences, scientists say the planet is far from meeting the UN's blessed goal of controlling warming at 1.5 degrees Celsius, 2.7 Fahrenheit, above pre-industrial levels.
Entre Matadi qui bat là en vrac. Il faut pas mousser là-bas chinois. C'est ce que les Chinois font dans ces pays. Vous voyez, les Chinois, place là, donc ils ont mal orienté de l'eau. Et vous voyez ce qui vient de se passer. Tu vas confier à Simon Bonassi, maman on a bana, maman quartier, tu vas tout bien. Nabana, bakei. Oui. Donc c'est l'unique route. Donc nous sommes partagés en deux là, on ne sait rien faire. Voilà.